Hey there from the Ground Up crew. My name is Mike Webb. I'm from Anderson, Indiana. I think this is my third time sending in a submission video application. So clearly I really want to do the the project. 46 years old, married, in my 25th year of marriage. I have a 14-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old daughter. And just a little bit about me. I have lived overseas for a good portion of my adult life in East Africa primarily, but also in Indonesia, doing charitable, faith-based work, community development style work mostly. And currently I'm a co-executive director with my wife, Heather, of a nonprofit organization called Children of Promise. And it's a child sponsorship organization, not unlike some of the big ones you may have heard of, like Compassion International or World Vision. We have projects in 35 countries and around 4,700 children who are sponsored through our program. So my wife and I do a lot of international travel. We've got a small office staff here in Anderson that manages that work, and so yeah, that's kind of who I am. And wanted to submit this video application before the deadline is over. I've been mulling over this for the last couple of weeks. I have been waiting for months actually to see if there was going to be another season. Been following you guys from the beginning. As I mentioned in some of my previous submission or video applications, I'm just really inspired and motivated by this project. And also, as I've mentioned in some of the previous videos, I'm not exactly new to cycling, but I am absolutely daunted by Leadville 100, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in the answers to the app questions that you guys have asked us to answer. I'm definitely still just a novice to intermediate rider. I'm not a advanced cyclist by any means, and I've done absolutely no mountain biking, with one minor exception. I had a buddy that we're on a trip together, and we tried one single track for a couple of miles, and I was terrified the entire time, and I hadn't done any training ahead of that. It was just like, here, try this, and it was really hard. So anyway, biggest accomplishment to date, really hard question to answer, because that could be like so many categories. Like, I tend to think of my life in sort of triangular things. Head, heart, and hands is a way I process a lot of the world around me and my engagement with the world around me. So I think about like academic and mental achievements, and I think about physical achievements, and I think about the relationships that I'm proud of. And so the thing that the accomplishment that I'm most proud of, I imagine you want to hear something that's somewhat related to, well, maybe not, but like a physical accomplishment. But I've been kind of in analysis paralysis about how to answer this question. So one of the things that I'm most proud of, and I'm a very reflective person. I'm constantly evaluating kind of myself, my achievements, my goals. Very goal-oriented type of guy. But one of my favorite accomplishments a few years back, as kind of a year-long fundraiser, and I may have talked about this in a previous video as well, but I decided I was going to do physical races, running races, and then triathlon races throughout the year in increasing difficulty all throughout the year. So I started in January, and every month I did a race a little bit longer. So I did a 5K in January, I did a 10K in February, all the way up through half marathon and marathon, and then I transitioned to triathlons. In the middle, I did a mountain climb. I summited Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, where I used to live. It was my second time doing that, so that's an accomplishment, but it's not as hard as it sounds. If you're in reasonably good shape, the hardest thing is the altitude, which is sort of out of your control. So but that was really a cool experience. But then in the latter half of the year, I did triathlons all the way through a full Ironman. And what I'm proud of about that accomplishment is not necessarily that I covered the distance, although that was really, really hard. It was I'm proud of the way that I persevered through that year. Because there were some really hard moments. I didn't feel good in several of the races that I did, and I didn't feel like I was up to, even though I tried to train as much as I could, and I'm a pretty disciplined and motivated person, I didn't feel great in some of the races. I didn't feel like I did well in my marathon race. My half Ironman, I felt really bad, especially after the bike, because it just toasted me, those 56 miles. And then I had a bad experience that I have talked about in a video previously, where I tried a gravel race in the middle of that year as a way of trying to improve in my cycling, because I've never felt very confident on a bike. As much as I love riding bikes and I love the world of cycling, I've just never had a real sense of confidence in maneuvering and in my endurance, and especially on uneven terrain. It's just not something that I have any real self-confidence in doing. And so I tried this gravel race, and it's the only race that year that I didn't finish. It was a 100-mile race here in Indiana, called the Dust Bowl. Really fun race, but I got 50 miles in and I was just toast and couldn't finish. And then I've felt like ever since that time, I just want to redeem myself as a cyclist. And I've covered some long distances. I mean, I did the I've done 2 half Ironmans actually now. And I did a full Ironman. So I've done a couple of long races and covered 100 miles on a bike, but it was on, a triathlon bike in aero position. Not without difficulty. It was extremely hard. I had a wreck halfway through my full Ironman, in which my bike was damaged, and so the second half I had to finish without using my aero bars. I couldn't use all of my gears, and I'd lost a spoke as well, so I was just really cautious. I did the second half really, really slowly. I've never been fast on the bike, but I didn't give up, and I persevered through that year and completed all the races except for that gravel race that I wanted to complete throughout the year. And so I was really proud of myself for the accomplishment that I made just enduring that year and pushing myself through that. I've had academic accomplishments and work-related accomplishments and things that I'm proud of as well. But I think what rings in my mind related to this project is the perseverance that I completed those tasks that I had set out for myself, those goals that I set for myself for that year. Why do I want to do Leadville 100? I've already alluded to it. I want to redeem cycling for myself. As I've said, I've covered distances on cycling, but without a lot of climbs, without any technicality in riding. I mentioned, I've never felt as comfortable as I want to feel on a bike. I've never done any mountain biking, so that's an entirely new task for me. And I know that this race, the Leadville 100, is like one of the pinnacle races of endurance and commitment and perseverance. I've always been attracted to activities and challenges that require my endurance and perseverance and that kind of thing. So it naturally appeals to me to want to do a physical task like that. But the fact that it's on a mountain bike, it's like leveled up 100 for me. And I just really want to do that. And I've been wanting to be involved in the world of cycling for a lot of years, and I've just never felt like I've been able to quite get there. So this is something that I really just want to do. And what's holding me back from finishing is that mental block from the gravel race, that I couldn't do it then, and this is a much, much harder race than the Dust Bowl that I did here in Indiana, which had hills and gravel. I mean, it was a gravel race and it was tough, but from what I can tell in the videos about Leadville and what I've seen in the other contestants, nothing compared to that. So I just know that this is going to be a monumental challenge to finish, even for someone who's interested. I mean, I'm on the way to the gym right now. I like to lift weights regularly. I run regularly. I've done the triathlon training for the last few years intermittently. Right now I'm not in the best shape after a winter and some sickness recently, so I'm trying to get back into physical fitness now, in the hopes that that is a precursor to training with you guys. But there's that mental block related to cycling. Like, can I do this? I think that I can. I know that I can cover the distance of 100 miles. Can I do it at Leadville? Can I do it on a mountain bike? I have some serious doubts, but I believe that I have the perseverance to do it, the commitment to do it. My personality is such that I will do the training no matter what. And I will work the program as from start to finish. So I got to get over that mental block that this is something that's in that arena of things that maybe I just can't do. I don't want to believe that. I think I can be a cyclist. I think I can be faster. I think I can have more endurance. I think I can do the climbs. I think I can feel more comfortable on a bike. I would love the coaching to get me there. So yeah, this is my submission. I really hope you pick me. I have loved this project from start to finish. Super eager. One last thing I'll leave you with is, as I mentioned, because of my work, I do a lot of international travel. I do a lot of speaking engagements here in the United States that require me to travel to different churches and things like that around to talk about our nonprofit organization. So there are a few trips that I've committed myself to between now and I think I saw the Leadville races in early August. That said, if there are any conflicts in the schedule, I will make it work. I will travel with my bike if I have to. I will do whatever it is required for me to stick to plan, to do the work, to get there to Leadville and to succeed. So I hope you pick me. Love to chat with you more about this. I hope that I get that chance, and I do not envy your work. I'm sure you get hundreds, if not thousands, of amazing applicants. So this is my video submission. Please pick me. I would love to represent from the ground up as one of your next contestants. Thanks.